Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. Right now we are playing Jena-Auerstadt. This is an old SPI folio game. It's part of the Napoleon At War Quad. And this is one of those games playing in the month of October, the same month as the battle historically took place. Now, earlier in the week, I had started to play Battle of Wagram. This is from the Historical Game Company, which is not in this month, but I've been wanting to get this one to the table. Now, I got about 5 turns in, I realized in this game system, I hadn't been playing any of the defensive fire for either side. So I just stopped that one and said, oh my goodness, I'm not going to try to correct that. So today I just said, okay, I'm going to start playing this one here. So what's interesting about this one, let me show you down here. This is a split battlefield. So this here is what Napoleon thought the main force of the Prussians was, near Jena. And over here on this side, Davout was maneuvering this way, trying to fall into the flank of the Prussians, but the Prussians had somewhat split, and the Duke of Brunswick and other forces. This is actually was the main army here on this side. Now, there's an option in this where you can have all the Prussians on this side. That becomes a real slog. It's not very interesting. But so, you know, as historical, split army here and here, and Napoleon has quite an advantage. This is acting as the rear guard, and over here, Davout started, you know, very weak. He started with only three units as the Prussians were closing in, but if you quickly make a sort of a defense near Hossenhausen here, that's where he historically did, and you protect your flanks. So you can see the Prussians are trying to. There is this river here, okay, and so is that the Ulm River? I'm not sure. So that's not crossable. This is a normal stream, but Auerstadt's here. The Austrians come on here before the French arrive with Davout, and so yeah, this is the area they're gonna slog over. So I am halfway through. I'm 6 turns in. The French have lost 1 unit, have killed 2, so they've killed 5 strength points, lost 4. The French in this game have a much higher demoralization rating, so the French really don't mind losing units. Now, it could be a little dangerous here if the Prussians could end up surrounding and he lost too many, but there are reinforcements coming on this turn here on turn 7, so yeah, there's turn 7, right? We did finish turn 6. Double check. Turn 7 more on. Yes, yeah. So we're starting turn 7. Now, the game starts in night. Whoops. Thing is slipping and sliding. Over here, the French start here, the Prussians are, they can't engage during night, so there's a little chance to do some maneuvering. The French can try to position a little bit, and then once the night turn ends, there's a couple of turns of fog, which was really a heavy fog. Artillery can't bombard at range, and the troops move half. So the first 5 turns of the game were kind of a slow slug. So that's why not much action has happened here through turn 6. So it'll be interesting to see if the Prussians with the Duke of Brunswick can make much progress. It looks like I sort of bumped this, and these are slightly off. I'll fix that later. And Davout will do his best to hold out. I think historically, like, Bernadotte dragged his feet and didn't show up to help Davout. You know, there's, like, inter-rivalries between Napoleon's various marshals and stuff. But, and I believe, like, when Napoleon finally got reports of the battle that Davout had defeated so many troops over here, Napoleon's like, say, what? I think you're seeing things. And finally he figured out, oh, geez, I guess we weren't hitting the main Prussian force. It was actually Davout. And he gave him praise. And I think he even, like, promoted him, gave him the title of Duke of Auerstadt. Here's Auerstadt. That he won that battle, defeated lots of Prussians. I think the Duke of Brunswick actually got killed in this battle. So this is Meandering Mike. We're doing Jena-Auerstadt, which is October of 1806. So we will, maybe, I'll stop it here and maybe, show a couple of turns or two, but, trying to do a little shorter playthroughs here than some of my long meandering ones. But so we'll do at least an end review, like an after action review and stuff. But so see you when we see you. Ciao. So we're back. We finished 2 more turns. We're now at the start of turn 9. We finished turns 7 and 8. The Prussians did manage to lose 1 unit here. The French have lost nothing. Over here, the Prussians lost some more. They're up to 15 losses. The demoralization level for each of the 2 battlefields is separate. I believe this is 18 for the Prussians and 65 for the French. Yeah, not going to happen. Over here in Auerstadt, on this side, it is 15 demoralization level for the Prussians and only 19 for the French, but still that's not going to happen. Now, if you're doing that combined battle where everything's in the Jena front, the Prussians have a 48 demoralization and 75 for the French. But again, that's just a slogfest, doesn't sound like any fun at all. But so over here, the Prussians are within 5 of becoming demoralized. Now, in these Napoleon at War games, there's usually different effects for demoralization. Typically, it's you lose the ability to advance after combat. In this one, if you're demoralized, you get 1 shift against you when you attack. So 1 shift to the left. Okay, and again, each of these 2 battlefields, demoralization is... I caused that to go out of focus. All right, so the French keep getting more reinforcements over here, more and more. These are showing up this turn, so this is definitely going to get overwhelmed. The Prussians have to probably start retreat. I mean, the problem is they're gonna lose this sort of anchor point. They did a good job so far of holding this, but this is going to break out, and they're going to just get totally flanked and surrounded. So I don't know how well they're going to be able to retreat or not at this point. And this has been a real slugfest. Davout's done a good job of manning the defense, and the Prussians tried to make some attacks here, and they didn't, weren't just with these, French 7s and 8s, and the best, they have 6s and 5s. They do have a 7-3 artillery, but that's not normally up at the front. This wasn't. There was some counterattacking going on here, and now this is exposed. So we're not going to actually record the playthrough of this turn 9 that we're starting, but we'll be back for some more. All right, take care. Be back soon. All right, so we finished turn 10. I probably should have taken a look at the victory conditions a little earlier. They're not based on strength point losses. It's ratio of strength point losses, who got demoralized or not. And if the Prussians lose 48 or less, it's actually kind of a major. If the Prussians lose less than 48 strength points, they get 3 victory points. The French can get 2 victory points for exiting 125 strength points off of this map edge and this map edge. If I'd known that, I probably would have shifted a lot more cavalry up this way. I'm not sure how much in the last 2 turns they can get off here. Right now, the French have eliminated more than 2-to-1 compared to the Prussians. So they're getting 2 victory points there. And the Prussian army has been demoralized here. That's 3. These guys are not yet demoralized here. There was a little fighting here. You can't quite see that. Let me shift that. The Prussians took a little gamble here. They surrounded an 8-strength unit. They lost something in turn. If they'd gotten lucky, they could have killed an 8 and a 7. And then the French counterattacked, and so this is the current state. And then the French started to pull back on turn 10, like, hey, man, we just got to try to see if we not get demoralized and lose any more strength points. Over here, the Prussians are just in a total rout. They are demoralized, and so in the cases where they're in a zone of control and they have to counterattack, they're losing that shift. And so there are a couple of cases where they got an AE where they otherwise wouldn't have, because in this game, you can't just automatically retreat. You can reduce the odds, like if you want to try to retreat, but starting at 1 to 3, there's a chance you can get an AE eliminated. So they're in trouble here. I don't know how much the French are going to get. If they can get a total 125 off, I'll have to count that. But there's just 2 turns left, and so it's closer than it seems. But I think the French are going to win. It's just by how much. So there's actually the Prussians got some reinforcements way back here on turn 10. I mean, really? I mean, it's just like, that's never going to do anything. There's no way the French are going to get guys this far up here, and that these could, that just seems a little ridiculous. I mean, historical, sure, but it's just like, whatever. And then these last French dudes, where do they come on? It's the same kind of thing. Like, does that really gonna matter? No, it's turn 12. Turn 12. 8:20. Oh, they show up here. So yeah, those guys can show up and exit. That's kind of silly. Yeah, so those are some guys that can just show up and exit. How many strength points? That's 14. But all right. So I'm gonna see what we can do here. What are the 18, 20, 27, 30, 34, 40, 46. So 3 more strength points, and the Prussians don't get that 3 points for having lost 48 or less. Yeah. There's really no way if they could somehow manage to hold on to that and kept the French from exiting there, they actually could have kind of tied or something. But they're demoralized here, and they're probably not going to get demoralized here. They only need to lose 3 more strength points, but it's too risky, I think, for the French to try to attack against this. There's a town here. There's a town here. Town here. Yeah, just the odds of them doing anything are very small there, but we'll see. So let's find out, and I'll report what the end totals are here on the victory conditions. They're a little different than I remember. It's been so long since I've actually played this game. All right. So we're at the end of the game here. These are the troops that the French was able to exit with. Nowhere near 120. It'd be really, really hard to exit 125 off of these 2 map edges. Wow, I say really hard. The Prussians got slaughtered here. They kept retreating, so there's definitely was enough strength points that the Prussians had lost more than 48 points. It's a big deal if they lose 48 or less. It's a 3-point swing. So as it is, the French managed to get a decisive victory. They did demoralize the Prussians here at Jena, which is worth 1 victory point. And they did manage to get a 2-to-1 ratio of eliminated strength points. So that's 2 French victory points. But to get the extra 2 for exiting, man, nowhere close to that. And if the Prussians had been able to keep their total strength point loss to 48 or less, that's 3 points. That would have been a draw. It's like a draw, that one condition. No one got demoralized here. They were 3 points away, but they retreated. They said, wait, better part of valor here. So, here the ratio 12 to 8, it wasn't a 2-to-1, but overall, definitely, because they only lost 11. The French lost 11 here at Jena, and there's a huge pile of lost here. But yeah, this was, if the French could potentially get demoralized here with only 19 points towards demoralization. And if the French is demoralized at Auerstadt, that's 2 victory points. 3. There's no way French should ever get demoralized here. That'd be 3. But it's possible that here at Auerstadt, they could get demoralized at 2. So if the French make some mistakes over here, so it's kind of interesting. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've played this. I didn't really remember the victory conditions. Definitely, I think the Prussians over here need to fall back earlier. Now, if obviously they fall back too fast, it can be possible for the French to eliminate their 125. But that's that question, is if they can preserve enough strength so they don't lose 48, that could be a big thing. So this will be interesting to play again at some point. I'd like to see this battle, this pair of battles, Auerstadt, in other game systems, how they model that, how they split the battlefield or not, what options there are, the different demoralization and victory points and all that stuff. It'd be interesting to see. So at some point, not this year, but at some point I'd like to revisit this. So this has been a playthrough of Jena-Auerstadt. This is the old SPI. I have the folio version, but this came in the Napoleon At War Quad, available in the flat tray. It may have actually come out in a box at one point. I am not certain about that. But, sort of classic little SPI battle in October. Played it in October. So there we are. So this has been a Meandering Mike presentation of another playthrough of an old SPI classic Hexagon Counter War game. I guess I could call this one of my Hexagon Alley ones. I didn't think of that ahead of time, but the old dusty, crusty back ways of Hexagon Counter War games, Hexagon Alley. So all you folks out there, thank you for watching. Take care. Remember, take care of your games because they will take care of you. Ciao.